My name is Cauy.
And my name is Harrison.
And we're just two gay Native Americans living in Arizona.
I'm a filmmaker.
And I'm an upcoming makeup artist.
And we both have a love for cinema.
Come join us as we discuss new and old movies.
Welcome to Two Spirit Movie Reviews. Hello, welcome back to Two Spirit Movie Reviews. I'm Harrison.
I'm Cauy.
And today we are talking about Hobbs and Shaw. Lawman Luke Hobbs and outcast Deckard Shaw form an unlikely alliance when a cyber-genetically enhanced villain threatens the future of humanity. Starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Jason Statham, Idris Elba, and the ever-so-beautiful Vanessa Kirby. Ooh. Okay. What a fun movie.
It was entertaining. I loved it.
Yes. This is... What is this? This is the 9th movie in the series? Because there was the Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, Tokyo Drift, Fast and Furious, Fast 5, Fast 6, Furious 7, Fate of the Furious, and now, this one is Hobbs and Shaw, ninth entry in the never-ending series of the Fast and the Furious. So, gosh, I gotta tell you, it was really, really nice to finally watch a movie where I didn't have to think too much about it. Yeah, because the first movies we reviewed, I mean, The Lion King, I don't think that counted just because it's The Lion King.
Yeah.
It's a kid's movie, but we still thought about it because we didn't like it. Well, I didn't like it,
I was 50-50.
Yeah, yeah, I guess it's harsh to say that I didn't like it. 50-50 is a good split, obviously. Yeah. And then after that, what do we watch? We watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is a pretty heavy movie. It's not exactly a typical Hollywood movie, even though the title is in it.
It's very family friendly.
Take your kids to go watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, sponsored by Two Spirit Movie Reviews.
I want your kids to learn more about Charles Manson, so please go.
Actually, if you want your kids to learn about Charles Manson, maybe don't watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And then after that, we watched the indie dark comedy, The Art of Self-Defense, which of course was its own unique thing. It was a deep, dark comedic masterpiece. There was a lot to take in, actually, for it being such a simple movie. And then, the next movie we watched is Saving Private Ryan, which, of course, for you
was my first time,
and it was a quote unquote heavy load.
Oh,
yeah. So now it was finally nice to just sit back, turn off your brain, and watch the ensuing madness of Hobbs and Shaw. Yeah.
Loaded with a lot of action scenes, I can say.
Yes. So I guess we should talk about that first, considering, the plot is paper thin. It's pretty straightforward. There's two heroes. There's one bad guy. They have to stop him.
Yeah.
It's pretty straightforward. So let's talk about the action, because I think that's obviously the selling point for this movie.
Yes.
So, director David Leitch.
Yeah.
Leitch. One of those is right. Comes predominantly from a stuntman background. His first movie, which he co-directed as an uncredited director, was John Wick.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is what I want to tell you that caught me by surprise, because I remember not liking this movie, but you liking it a lot, and that was Atomic Blonde.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, he directed that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm all like, okay, because I remember when we watched that, I was like, I didn't like this. And you loved it. You were living for it.
I was talking shit to you. I remember.
Well, I was talking shit about the movie. And then after that, when first Deadpool director decided not to come back for the second Deadpool movie, David Leitch came back and directed Deadpool 2.
Oh, okay.
Which probably explains why there's a certain someone in this movie, and we'll get to that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then suddenly he's given the reins of a franchise. Not exactly part of, not the main storyline of, Vin Diesel's character, Which, what was his name?
Dominique.
Yeah, Dominic.
Dominic
Toretto.
Yes.
Yeah. So he was given the reins of the spin-off series, which is like in the same vein of the movies, but it feels way different from the other Fast and the Furious movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it did have some elements of Fast and the Furious in the movie. It's more of like, well, there was only one part that I well, not really too much in the movie, but in one certain scene is where they turned the NOS on their cars.
Yeah. Actually, I caught two moments, and that for me was the first, obviously, because NOS. You know, what do they call it? They gave it a specific name. It was very Samoan too. Give him a taste of moonshine.
Okay.
Moonshine. They said, give him a taste of moonshine. I guess that's NOS in Samoa.
Yeah.
And the very obviously blunt on the head reference was family. You know.
Oh yeah.
You know, don't forget we're family. You know.
Okay. Yeah.
Because obviously that played a major key role in all the movies, and now this one as well. But this one played it a little bit more like better.
Yes.
Just because I think.
Wait.
Like when he went back to his family.
Okay, yeah, that was a better.
Because you know, the Dominic Toretto character is always like, "We're family."
Yeah.
You know? So I'm just saying that all the time because that's like he was in that How It Should Have Ended.
Yeah.
And he always references that all the time. It's like, we can do this because we're family. You know.
I forgot what they used to say. Family over family. Something I forgot, but their famous motto from their saying.
Yeah, family, and this one plays off that a little bit better than those movies. It's a little less on the head and more like, oh well, you know, it
an
drives
actual family.
it drives the story. It's not like
it's
not like we're spiritually a family. It's like, oh, this is my brother.
Okay,
Which you gotta love that family. Mother.
Oh my God, yes.
We are Native American. I'm Yavapai. My friend here is Navajo. And that family seems so similar to a Native family.
So res.
So, how do you say?
John.
So John. You do it better. Yeah, but even I said that it felt like they're just our brothers from across the ocean, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a group of natives got stuck on an island and there they are.
There's always that brother that hates you, but in the end it's always that mother's love that brings you in, regardless of the family situations you have with your siblings.
Mother's love, I love that because she was screaming and threatening to smack him with her
sandal.
Yeah. As Mexicans would say, her chanclas.
Yes, yeah.
They're lucky they got that. We got fly swatters and rulers and belts.
And wired clothes hangers. Oh my God.
Girl. See, we've been through it. The Samoans got it easy, I guess.
They got clubs.
Oh, shit. But, no, action-wise, we went on a little tangent there. Let's go back to the action, which... Of course, is now the staple of every Fast and the Furious movie. It's always funny, because you always think about the first movie and like their biggest stunt was jumping onto a semi, and then like what is it in the fifth movie they're air jumping out of a plane with parachutes. I'm like in vehicles, you know.
Yeah, and then I think it was the sixth or the seventh one. They did a whole cliff scene.
Yeah.
And well, this one actually, like, I seen a similar stunt of when everything in these Fast and the Furious movies always has to deal with the edge of a cliff. I don't know if you caught onto that, but in every, like, it's beginning from the fourth movie, there's always a stunt that has to be done, and always an action scene that always has to be done with involving a cliff, because in the fourth film, when Betty, it was Betty, the beginning opening where it's the semi going down that cliff.
You know, I gotta admit, these movies sort of blended into one giant action scene for me, so I can't actually pinpoint a specific moment from a specific movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's like, is that the film that introduced like the more wild, quote unquote, stunts? Like, I think it's a semi, right? And then Dominic Toretto kind of glides under it as it goes over. Is that scene?
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right.
It's always involving like a fucking cliffside. Like, always has to be an explosion too as well.
Yeah.
But
I mean, no, these explosions were tame. This wasn't no Michael Bay action. You can actually see what's happening.
Yeah.
You know,
and then also that scene was also another like I caught on that it was another scene from the previous movie. I think it was 6 or 7, where they did the same thing where Paul Walker was jumping, and then that guy did a drift. I think it was Tyrese that did a drift and caught him.
Yeah. No. Any kind of logic or physics just thrown out the window with these movies. At least I think it started at the 4th one, because I mean, drifting is real.
Yeah.
People do that. So like Tokyo Drift wasn't too far out of the way.
Yeah, everyone does it.
Yeah, and like Too Fast, Too Furious. I remember the biggest stunt on that was like crashing a car into a boat. You know, and like the opening scene of Fast and Furious, the 4th one was the tanker.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, okay, now this is turning into that series. And don't get me wrong, like I said before, I loved I loved turning my brain off for this movie and having fun with it, because ultimately that's kind of what you want to do with these movies, is you want to have fun with it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's Fast and the Furious too, so obviously no rules are done here. Everything is possible.
Yeah, no, and it's a wild ride, and no moment of this movie is boring.
Yes, it's just your eyes glued to the screen.
Yeah, and I'm not saying the action is like Mad Max Fury Road level, but it is on its own level where where it doesn't adhere to physics and reality, and that's great, because a lot of this stuff is fucking wild. Like, God, what's that? Okay, and we're gonna talk about this too, but I specifically want to reference the scene where they're being chased on the bike through London, where he crashes into the bus, and this shot is in the trailer, and I don't think I ever noticed it, and this is actually a plight for me, at least, on the visual effects, because that scene where the Idris Elba character goes underneath the semi.
Oh yeah.
That, I mean, I know it's fake, but Jesus Christ, that guy was a digital stunt double.
Yeah.
It looks so apparent, and I don't know who to put the blame on for that, because it was just so noticeable. And that's when you know you have bad visual effects, is when you notice them. You know, you try to tune it out, but it was so blatantly bad. A bad digital stunt double. I don't know if you've noticed that or not, but
no, I know when to catch on to fake stuff and when it seems cheesy.
Yeah.
But I did notice that. But it's I mean, for Christ's sake, this plot is basically. I don't know how in the Fast and the Furious universe how a guy suddenly gets machine like. No, what is he? Like kind of like a robot.
Yeah,
like,
you know,
robotic powers.
Because, you know, as we do after all the movies, I do research. I go on IMDb, look at all the trivia, and apparently, when it was announced that Idris Elba was going to be the bad guy, and when the trailer dropped at Super Bowl, and they found out that he was enhanced cybernetically via his spine. For some reason, a lot of people were mad because they compared him to Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man. And I'm like, funny. That's a really oddly specific thing to get mad about. You know, I'm just reporting what I read, and I just think that's kind of silly.
Yeah. You
know, and I had no problem with Idris Elba at all. He's a very awesome actor. He is
fucking hot.
Apparently has giant balls.
Oh, he's got giant bulge, which is sticking out in certain scenes. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, this character wears leather throughout the whole movie, and well, he has no shame. I know. It's just there. You can't not look at it. And here we were, us dumb bitches sitting in the front row of an IMAX theater, like, oh, Idris.
I leaned over to Harrison. I was like, his bulge is sticking out.
You know what's fun?
Their little interrogation scene.
No, and that sucked, because I was like, God damn it, that's all I can see now. There's this fucking dick. Oh. But
my god.
anyways, no, but you know, his character was honestly a good match for Hobbs and Shaw, because you know you got blunt strength, you have agility, you just have you know that versus them created for an interesting final battle. So
Yes.
but yeah, no, he really was Black Superman. You know.
Oh yeah, did quote unquote Black Superman.
And another bit of trivia that I found, that line was originally supposed to be "I'm Black James Bond."
Oh, so they just changed it.
Yeah, and people are suspecting that he's going to be the new James Bond.
Oh.
So like he said, no, I don't want to say that line. So maybe it was like a contractual thing where he can't reveal the news until it's time for them to reveal it. So that's why he was all like, I can't say that line, fellas. I refuse to say it. So they changed it to "I'm Black Superman," which I think makes much more sense considering that he is essentially bulletproof.
I thought it was the suit that made him bulletproof.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought too. But apparently he was himself bulletproof.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Still a badass villain. I loved him. Yeah.
I did too.
But the real villain was a faceless, distorted voice.
Yes.
So we'll get into that. We'll get into that when it comes to spoilers. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I guess since we're talking characters, I suppose we should talk about our titular characters of Hobbs and Shaw.
I love the chemistry between both Jason Statham and also
The Rock,
Dwayne Johnson. So this movie, it was more of like they're both alpha males and they're always fighting, like even especially when it comes to sidekick. So they're just trying to be the alpha dominant person and be like, oh yeah, you're my sidekick, or I don't need your help. But then, you know, it comes down to the point where they both need each other's help. So that's fun. That's throughout the whole movie. So they're both arguing about it. It's funny.
Yeah, and actually, again, coming from the research I did, it was just their chemistry alone from the previous Fast and the Furious movies that made this movie a reality. You know, just what was it? Where they was it the Fate of the Furious where they
were both locked up? I think it was.
No, I think that was the Furious 6 or Fast 6 or whatever.
It was
it Furious 7?
I know one of them that has to deal in Brazil. I think that was where.
But yeah, no, their chemistry in the previous movies is pretty much what gave birth to this, because when producers saw them, how they were acting with each other on and off set, they were like, this could be an interesting duo. And suddenly, you know, shoot, a few years later, and
came to life.
Now we have Hobbs and Shaw.
It was good though.
Yeah, there was a definite perfect chemistry between these two characters. They play off each other beautifully, where you can't even tell if it's either scripted or that's just them fucking with each other.
I know.
Yeah.
I feel like the chemistry with them was so good when they both found out they were both scheduled to work with each other.
Yeah,
and I could tell like some parts weren't scripted because it picked it up from like previous movies that they're in. Like, oh, all you do is blow shit up, and all you do is, I forgot what he said to The Rock. You're always smashing stuff.
okay, She-Hulk. Only thing you know how to do is smash. As if you didn't know these characters enough, the introduction to the characters is just it's the perfect setup. It's a split edit where two scenes are happening at the same time on the screen, and one shows the morning routine of The Rock and also the morning routine of Jason Statham.
Oh yeah, I like that one.
What is it? One fights like elegantly, like champagne, while the other is more blunt and brutal, like Jack. You know, so it's like it's the perfect opening scene for a movie like this. It sets up the stage that, hey, you're here for a good time, and you're gonna have a fucking awesome time. Yeah, and we did. It was great.
I enjoyed it. Yeah. I enjoyed myself in that movie theater. Good, a good family-friendly movie.
And another terrific use of the PG-13 allowed fuck.
Oh yeah. There was some language in there, but
it was a great use of the PG-13 fuck.
And also, was the other girl, what was her name? Madam? No, the girl that Jason kissed.
Oh,
the beautiful woman, the one who were robbing mobsters.
Yeah, I think her name is Isa Gonzalez.
Yeah,
think
yeah,
so.
Isa Gonzalez.
Is
yeah.
it? Okay.
Yeah. I forgot the name of her character. But was she in the previous movies before? I don't think I've seen her.
I don't think she was. I mean, not as the character, and if she was, I've totally forgotten. Much like how I've totally forgot that Wonder Woman was in the movies.
Wait, what?
The actress who played Wonder Woman.
Gail?
What's her name?
Gail Gadget or Gadget?
Oh, Gal Gadot or Gal Gadot.
Something like that.
Yeah, but yeah, I didn't know she was in. I totally forgot that she was in these movies. Did you forget too?
Wasn't she the officer? Like
I don't remember.
I think she was The Rock's partner. No.
See,
I don't know.
These movies need a rewatch, and I know that they're going to be releasing like a 4K edition.
Oh yeah.
Like as a single pack, so I'll probably get them then. Because honestly, I only remember Fast and the Furious, the first one, because they did a Tuesday night classic of that earlier this year. But other than that, like all of them sort of blend into one. I know one was a heist movie, and I really like that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I totally forgot that Gal Gadot was in these movies. Did she die?
I think so.
Or did she get pregnant and then she had to leave the team? See, I don't know.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Sorry, Wonder Woman. Sorry, girl.
Sorry.
But no, I think as far as that character goes, I think she was just, well, I mean, there's one way to find out. We'll be back. We're going to do a little bit of research. All right, and we're back. Yeah, Isa Gonzalez, this is the first time her character appeared in these movies. So I guess she's going to be a part of the Hobbs and Shaw movies.
I bet. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Oh, and we should probably talk about the controversy behind this movie.
Well, there was a controversy?
Yeah, there was. I mean, I'm pretty sure you probably heard about it, but I totally forgot about it until I read it in the trivia. But remember, there was that whole like argument. There was like some big old conflict between Vin Diesel and The Rock in the last Fast and the Furious movie.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. Based on what I read, at least what I'm understanding is that they got an argument because they were thinking about doing a spin-off for Hobbs and Shaw, and that Vin Diesel decided to cut scenes out of The Rock's character, and yeah, it just caused like a huge rift between them. So
oh, yeah, but they later talked it out.
Yeah, for at least this could be outdated information, but I hear that The Rock doesn't want to appear in the 9th Fast and the Furious, but that maybe potentially the 10th, if it goes that long, which it will.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, and then I guess that's why they got into this whole argument, is because of this spin-off idea.
I think it was, yeah, because I do remember that Vin Diesel was kind of making it seem like The Rock was just trying to take the franchise under him. Yeah, I think.
Which makes sense now, because now he's got his own little spin-off.
Yeah, and he's always flaunting his body. But
hey,
his body though.
I was a little more interested in the other Samoans in the background,
Ooh, the brother! Oh my God, one of the Samoans was so fucking hot.
I think that's the one I was looking at.
Yeah, he had just one tattoo on his arm, I think.
Ooh, I don't know. I was looking more at the.
He was wearing army pants.
Maybe.
See, I remember.
I don't. There was exposed skin, and that's what I was looking at.
I was like, oh my God. Okay, Samoans. I never looked at you guys this way, but
wow.
Then take me to your island.
Oh, but yeah, even then, like legendary. Well, I think he's from New Zealand, but that actor who played the primary Samoan brother of The Rock. Was Nolan? Not Nolan.
Oh, his brother.
Yeah, his brother. Cliff Curtis. He's always a great actor. I loved him since, probably Deep Rising. Do you remember that movie?
Deep Rising, no.
Oh, that's a good creature feature. That was made by Stephen Sommers before The Mummy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Out of my time.
Oh yeah, you were born in '98, huh?
Yeah.
That was '98, I think. Yeah. But yeah, and speaking of like, it doesn't hit you over the head so much with like any kind of drama except for like the action pack. But I think my favorite kind of moment was actually a small moment, and that was when The Rock, that was between the Dwayne Johnson and Cliff Curtis, the brothers, where they kind of sort of make up and they're like apologize to each other.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was a really tender moment. Like it was actually legitimately, there was like a lot of emotion behind it, and pretty solid performances from either character.
Yeah, this movie it's perfect for not perfect for Fast and Furious, but it has everything similar. You got like the hot girls, you got the nice cars, you got the action, you got the dialogue, especially when it comes to characters that don't like each other, and they made it
just a nice
comedic.
witty, just like the witty banter.
Yeah, you got the crazy stunts. I guess that will go under action. Duh.
Mm-hmm.
You also have the bit of tenderness, love you would get between the actual final scene. That's in every Fast and the Furious movie. I kind of caught on to that. Right when the big finale is coming, there's always going to be a crying scene just right before the big finale scene starts, like the day prior. But yeah, there's always that. So it's just a lot of, they really thought of this movie, I guess you would say.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's stupid for all the right it's so stupid, it's smart.
Yeah.
You know, and you know what? It's funny because I think this is probably the last blockbuster of the year. I think this is like the last big like blockbuster-esque movie to come out for the for this year. You know, because now we're getting into August and September, which are kind of, well, mainly August is kind of predominantly a kind of boring like month to release movies. You know, I think because it's August 1st, but it's still basically July, so this is like the last of the blockbusters. And yeah, it kind of falls into that. It's like it's a popcorn flick, as I told you before. It's a pure 100% popcorn flick. Can't do much thinking, just sit back, watch, and enjoy the carnage.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would describe it as that, yeah.
Yeah. But now we're getting into spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, or you have and you want to hear what we have to say, we are getting into spoilers. You have been warned. If you listen to this,
it's your fault.
It's your fault. Ryan Reynolds is in this movie. And I don't know if it was my lack of looking this up, or if it was even announced, or if it was kept a secret, but when he came on screen, I was generally surprised.
Yeah, like I think they did kept it hidden, but I didn't know that two big actors were going to make a cameo in these movies.
Oh yes, along with Ryan Reynolds, which he's only in there because David Leitch, whatever, the director of Deadpool 2. Oh, well, I just told you. Ryan Reynolds is in here because of Deadpool 2.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Yeah, and also if a director can bring his actor from another movie, then certainly the film's actor and executive producer can bring his best buddy on the film. So Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson brought in
Kevin Hart,
and he plays an air marshal when they get on the plane.
And he wants to join them too as well.
Yeah, and I mean, it's very obvious that this was just done as a, well, you know, just as, hey, buddy, be in this movie, it'll be fun kind of a thing, you know?
And I think they're going to hint, I mean, it already did hint at another movie, but I feel like they're going to come back. Ryan Reynolds and Kevin Hart is going to come back in the second movie.
Oh, God, yeah. And, you know, I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. And not that it's a problem, because it is Ryan Reynolds, and you can't really complain about that beautiful, perfect man. But essentially, Ryan Reynolds was Deadpool in this movie.
Exactly. He still had the same... how would you describe his character? Like,
he's just Deadpool.
Yeah, like, you know how Deadpool acts, and he's very Ryan puts that trait into the movie. So you have Ryan Reynolds, how he would act as Deadpool. So
yeah, he was just Deadpool, but as a
without burnt. Yeah.
What is he? Was he? I almost said CSI, not CSI. He was CIA, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Central. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, oh, and then also, those are some great characters. They have fun with it. I felt the Kevin Hart parts were a little drawn out, but it was still kind of enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's like the only down moment in the movie where they're just flying on a plane, but then ultimately we get to our actual villain, or the puppet master behind all this chaos, and it's represented through garbled language, and it's a guy somewhere else speaking through a recording to hide his voice.
Yes.
Or her voice, we don't know. But at the end, it's hinted that that this person
is gonna go after him,
and that they have known each other previously. At least the Rock character, I think.
Yeah. So it kind of just makes you think where he would come across. That's probably the reason why you need to watch these movies all over again to see which characters gave him shit.
Yeah,
or what he did to others to put them in like prison. I kind of believe maybe it was probably someone he put away, or someone he probably killed. I don't know.
I'm also thinking that that whole. I mean, I told you, and I thought I think you thought it was a stupid idea, but I honestly think that it could be the Rock's, at least the character, his father.
Did it ever bring attention to his father in the movie?
Yeah, remember that story they were telling, that he was telling to the love interest, that their father came back and got him into all sorts of crime, and that he didn't mind getting his family killed. Remember?
Oh.
So, like, I don't know, that was a little too random to be put in the movie to have it just be tossed aside,
Mm-hmm.
I think that, because remember, this even falls with your theory of it's going to be someone that he put away. The character of Hobbs put his own father away, and that's why he ran away from the island.
Okay.
Is it making sense now, bitch?
Yes.
See, I got my money on that character being Hobbs' father. Wouldn't it be so cool if they brought on Tamura Morrison to play the dad character? Because I'm totally convinced that it's going to be the dad character who was the mastermind behind all this,
Uh-huh.
And this is him, if you haven't recognized him before.
Okay.
That guy,
okay. Now it comes
right?
together, yeah.
Yeah. So that would be real cool, because excuse me, we had Chipotle and it's all coming up right now.
Uh-huh.
Because the Rock took enormous pride in casting Polynesian actors for the finale. So why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he bring the most noticeable, iconic actor from that region into this series? It's such a Rock thing to do.
Uh-huh.
So that's my theory. I think if anything, we're calling that. I'm calling that now. That's what's going to happen. So what do you think now? You still think the theory's true, or?
I still believe it's somebody else.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to prove you wrong in like 4 years.
Or like somebody that Vin Diesel's character that knows Hobbs, because they work together in one of the movies. Something I don't know, but
we could totally be wrong too. Like, what if he was actually talking to Jason Statham? Because I honestly forget who he was talking to. And
I know it was saying like all three of you have passed your. What did it?
Yeah.
Something. All three of you passed your. Basically, another term for test, but you guys basically all passed your shit. Like, I don't know. Fuck. I don't know who it would be.
Yeah, it could. I mean, one theory that is back in my mind: if he's talking to the Jason Statham character, then it's got to be his brother, the one who was the bad guy in one of those movies. Because I can't remember if he died on screen, like if we actually saw it. Because you know how these movies go.
Yeah.
If you don't see them die, then they're alive.
They're gonna be back.
Yeah. Well, that happened with Michelle Rodriguez's character, right?
Betty. Yeah.
Betty.
I love Betty.
Letty, not Betty.
Oh.
Letty, Letitia.
Dumb bitch.
You dumb bitch. Yeah. I mean, that's all I really have to say about it. It is I think it's just time for closing statements.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
Yeah. So it's just a normal Fast and the Furious movie, but without the main actors and actors from the previous movies. It's just dealing with Dwayne Johnson and also Jason Statham, perfect chemistry, and also it's action packed. It has cars. It has the hot woman in every film that they have. There's always the good type of music too to go along with the party scenes, but it's more of like them getting actually ready for battle. So that is in there too as well. So great soundtrack, and also just the great action scenes. Even though some of them may be corny or unbelievable, you're still getting your money's worth. You'll leave the theater like, oh my god, what a good date. Kidding. But yeah, that's. I would give it a 7.5 and an 8 in that range.
So like an 8.
So it's kind of in between a 7 and an 8. I don't know.
7.7?
7 point. Yeah, I guess you would say 7.7. But yeah, that's what I have to say about it.
All right, well that's fair. Yeah, pretty much the same thing. You know, this is a stupid movie in the best, smartest way possible. It's clever, it's fun, it's you definitely get your money's worth. I would definitely suggest watching it in the best way possible. We watched it in an IMAX theater, and boy, did those punches hit us.
Yes.
Oh God, I mean, I was in the theater. I was like, my head was moving with the punches. I don't know if you saw that at the end. I was like, oh,
I know.
Fuck.
Those punches look deadly. Look like they'll fucking break a neck.
Oof. Yeah. So I mean, definitely a really awesome, aggressive score by Tyler Bates, who collaborates with David Leitch a lot. He did all the John Wicks, the Deadpool 2, and Atomic Blonde. So he brought on Tyler Bates. Just a little bit of plug for my film score lovers out there. Yeah, I mean, while it did feel like he's touching my boob.
I'm sorry. It was just
after.
Okay. Oh, shit.
You know, it's a movie that exists in the Fast and the Furious universe, but it definitely feels like its own thing. In fact, you know, it's funny they say hot girls, because I think there was only one close-up of one ass in the movie.
Oh yeah, and
it was actually relatively clothed.
Yeah, and this is kind of like it's kind of the party that Jason arrives that shows the girl the ass and the hot woman and everything. It's kind of similar to the movie that was set in Dubai, when the party to Dubai opened, like with the opening to the Dubai scene, where it showed the cars, the luxury places of Dubai, and also going inside the party and seeing all the girls just dancing on like statues, kind of like similar to statues. But yeah, you'll get a close-up of some ass and some pussy.
which you know is a staple of every Fast and the Furious movie.
Yes.
Except for the first one, because usually it's like the girls who drop the flags and they race.
Yeah.
In this one, it was just some guy in like cargo shorts and like a polo in the first one. And I'm like, haha, funny. But yeah, it's a terrific popcorn flick. Turn your brain off, sit back, and like I said before, enjoy the carnage. The action is superb. The fight scenes are beautifully choreographed. Well, not beautifully. They're so brutal.
Yes.
For a PG-13 movie, you know, Jason Statham he's like 52 years old, and he's still doing awesome shit.
Ooh.
So, but yeah, no, I think I share the same sentiment with the rating, except mine is just a solid 8 out of 10. It's the perfect B+ action movie. So, definitely go see this in theaters. Don't Redbox it, don't Netflix. Go and watch this movie opening weekend with a sold-out crowd, because I tell you what, you are going to have some really good fun watching this movie.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it for our review for Hobbs and Shaw. Great movie. Go watch it. So, next week is going to be very interesting, because there's like 4 movies coming out or 5 maybe, that I want to watch. The first being It's Gonna Be So Bad, It's Gonna Be So Good. Dora and the Lost City of Gold.
Oh, God.
Which I don't even know who the target audience is for that. I'm pretty sure maybe it's just the 20-year-olds who want to go watch something stupid. 'Cause I know that's going to be us in the theater. Like,
I brought a knife on the field trip.
And then the one movie that I know we're excited for, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Aye.
Yes. And one that I'm not really... I could be okay not watching it maybe Thursday, maybe on a Tuesday when tickets are cheap, but The Art of Racing in the Rain.
I've never heard of that one.
That's the dog movie with the racing, remember?
Oh.
With Milo Ventimiglia.
Like every pet movie, they die and then they...
It's like A Dog's Purpose.
Reincarnate into another thing, yeah.
Yeah, see, I feel we've already we watched the whole movie. It's basically going to be Marley and Me meets... Dog's Purpose.
Yeah.
And the dog sounds old as fuck because it's being voiced by Kevin Costner, so you know he's gonna die. There you go. We saved you a few bucks. And also The Kitchen. Melissa McCarthy. She in a serious role. So.
Oh, is that the one with all three women?
Yeah, the three women.
Okay.
What's her face from Handmaid's Tale and Us. And the Tiffany Haddish.
This was. Oh, yeah, actually, this is Melissa McCarthy and Tiffany Haddish's most serious roles.
What is it, Tiffany?
Yeah, Tiffany Haddish or Haddi? I don't know.
Oh, Tiffany Haddish.
Yes.
Oh, and the other girl's name was Elizabeth Moss.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one, I'm kind of excited for that one.
Yeah, like if anything, I don't mind not watching Art of Racing in the Rain and watching that instead. And this one, the last one that I know you'd be interested in watching because you've actually liked the trailer a lot when we watched it with The Art of Self-Defense, but the Peanut Butter Falcon.
Oh.
With Shia LaBeouf.
My baby daddy, yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have a lot of movies to watch next week. So we got Dora, Scary Stories, The Art of Racing in the Rain, The Kitchen, and the Peanut Butter Falcon.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to be a busy weekend. It's going to be 5 episodes in one weekend. Fuck. So, and yeah, we're not going to be going to the Tuesday Night Classic. This Tuesday is Gone with the Wind, and while I do have a lot to say about it, I actually have no interest in watching it again. I know it's important. I know it stands as a really great movie in cinematic history. I watched it. I'm done.
I'm never gonna watch it. I'm so sorry for people who love classics, but that's just not my type of movie.
Yeah. Which is funny because I think you are like the Scarlet character, so that'll forever remain a mystery if you want to go watch it. But
I'll just go into YouTube and be like all Scarlet scenes from A Gone in the Wind.
That's the whole fucking movie. That's all 4 hours. Yeah. But yeah, this has been Two Spirit Movie Reviews. We hope you liked what you heard. So tune in next week for 5 movies.
Oh, that's gonna be a good one.
So until then, this has been Harrison.
And this is Cauy.
Have a good night. Bye. This has been Two Spirit Movie Reviews. If you love what you heard, like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. More platforms will be made available in the upcoming weeks. Thanks for listening.